Hello and welcome back to the Lady Sows. Today I'm at the allotment. I think it's going to cloud over. I can see some black clouds over there, so how long I'll be here I've got no idea. But the sun's shining even though it's blowing a hoolie as usual here. Anyway, as it's the end of March, I thought I'd give you a tour of where we're at, what I've been up to. So without further ado, let's get on. Right, well this is the pumpkin bed or squash bed. It's got a few weeds growing in it, so I'm going to put the hoe over it. I've been umming and ahhing whether to grow sweet corn in here along with the squash. Because it's so windy here, I often have sweet corn that is, you know, got a net round it to save the pollen being in the next village. This is going to be the onion bed. The onions are coming along down at the greenhouse, which I'll show you later. Under here, if they're still alive, let's move this fleece out of the way. Yes, I've got beetroot plants. They're very tiny at the moment, and I've got them under this fleece more than anything else to keep the wind off, because the wind has been very cold. Now my purple sprouting broccoli is really coming into its own now, so it's a lovely head there. And I noticed some more over here, so I might pick that for tea tonight. So I don't want it to get too big. My early tulips are coming out. This is early for us. I know lots of people, particularly in the south, have already got their tulips probably going over. But so I've got broad beans here. I've been very disappointed with the broad beans. I've actually got some more to put in today. Those that I planted last autumn, I think I got 4 that survived. That being one of them, which is showing signs of probably flowering. But it's just been really poor, and I'm never going to grow them in the autumn again. I shall wait and either do them in December and plant them out in January, or wait until January. Now these peas here I have had under fleece just really to help them get established, but they are very hardy pea. They're very early pea. They're called Oscar, and I sowed those on the 14th of February, and I think I planted them out about the 14th of March. I'll put a note. So I've got some pea sticks over here that we've been collecting. There's some more in my husband's car actually, and I'm going to put the pea sticks up for something for them to scramble up. This bed will have more peas in. Now over here, under here, to this piece of fleece, I've planted brassicas. Now they are Calabrese, and I've planted some lettuces in between the brassicas, because they've got such a wide space in Calabrese. I mean, you've got these tiddly little plants and you're planting them 2 foot apart. There's a weed there. So there's lots of space. So by the time they've grown up, the lettuces will be finished. I'm also going to have got some more radishes to go in, and they're going to go in here. I've also got some more. It's very bright, isn't it? I've also got some more brassicas to go in here. But before I do that, I need to get some compost on this. I was really surprised to see these. This is actually chicory, and they've decided to regrow. So, and I've decided to let them. So this is supposed to be spinach, winter spinach. It hasn't really done very well. That's all going to be grubbed out because I really need the space now for the rest of my brassicas that need to go in at the moment. Over here, under more fleece, and I'll just put the fleece on top of this. The plants will push the fleece up. These are turnips. I don't normally grow turnip at this time of the year. I usually just grow them in the autumn, but I thought I'd give it a go. So once the weather starts to warm up, I shall remove the fleece off of that. This bed here has just got green manure. That's all got to be sorted. And then up here got a few weeds growing in it by the looks of it. Something's digging. I don't know if it's a cat. I don't think we have rabbits, so it might be a cat. Leeks are going in here. So, right, now this bed here, this had winter cabbages in, and I'm actually going to grow sweet potatoes in here. It has had ordinary potatoes in the past. Here's one here that seems to have worked its way to the surface. So I expect I'll get, there's another one there. Oh no, that's a stone. So I'm going to have a go at growing sweet potatoes. I'm growing a variety, I can't remember the name of it now. I'll look it up. I'll leave a note. And they're supposed to be ideal for growing in British climates. We'll see. I did some research. In here, you can't see very well. These are my overwintered sensu onions, and I've got some spring onions. The fleece can come off of that. That was just to help them get settled for a few days. Now the reason, of course, that the mesh is on is because of the dreaded leaf miner. Under here, under this fleece here, I've got radishes growing. And then in here I've got leeks, and again the mesh is on because of the allium leaf miner, which will be hatching soon. And I'm going to be, I don't know, this piece of thing keeps floating up. I'm going to be planting carrots in between these. Let's see if I can get down here so you can see a bit better. These are the elephant garlic. Everything's doing really well, but it's really quite difficult to see because of the mesh. The fruit cages, all my fruit bushes are coming into leaf. So that's a red currant. It's got some dead bits on it. I think the red currant, to be honest, is coming to the end of its life. And I have taken some cuttings to replace it. This is a black currant. I've got 2 black currants, and they produce, feels like tons sometimes of black currants. I've got a couple of little gooseberries. They're fairly new plants. And then I've got a couple of blueberries. And at home, I've got some blueberry cuttings, which to my great surprise are actually growing. Now this is the asparagus bed, and I was so excited the other day when I noticed these popping up. That's purple asparagus. There's a little tiny one there, I don't know if you can see it. Purple asparagus comes up first. This is a row of purple asparagus, and then the rest of it's green asparagus. There's some more there. So I'm dead chuffed about that. The leeks, having looked absolutely pathetic a month or so ago, I mean they're still not looking brilliant, but they've really bulked up, and I'll be harvesting these in the next couple of weeks. We use them in place of onions when I run out of onions, although to be honest I've got a bag of onions in the freezer, so I've got onions forever. But hopefully I shall freeze these. As I say, already one's starting to put up a seed head. I'll freeze these and use them as necessary. Over here, under more netting, and this bed needs a good weed. These are overwintered red onion sets that my friend gave me. I'm never grown winter hardy red onions before, but she grew them last year and they were absolutely wonderful. And I really enjoyed them, so I thought I'd give them a go. And these are my 2 new beds that I've created. They still got to have compost put on them, but I've got loads of compost to use. So I'll be doing that. I've got a bit of Swiss chard. I've had quite a few pickings of this, believe it or not, but it won't be long for that. Probably mid-April it'll start to bolt, and all the raspberries are starting to come up. So I'm pleased about that, but I don't, they keep running as raspberries do. And I've got some more bulbs coming up here. So hopefully, with not too long, I'll have quite a display of flowers. Now the strawberry bed that I started to plant, the ones that I've put in are doing okay. The rest are at home. I've got some gaps. as usual. So I've got some more rocks. I'm just waiting till the plants are a bit bigger, to be honest. It's just so windy here, and I did try putting some fleece over them, just really to keep the wind off while they got established. But the wind kept blowing the fleece off, so I decided it was doing more damage to the plants than leaving the fleece off. Now this is my other pumpkin bed. It's really more pumpkins. I've got 3 granddaughters, and 2 of them live in this country. 1 of them lives in New Zealand. So I grow pumpkins for Halloween for the 2 in this country. I can't do anything, unfortunately, about the girl in the one in New Zealand. I can't send pumpkins out there. Now, these green plants are alliums, and as far as I was aware, we dug all the alliums up. So I can't dig these at the moment. I've got to get my husband to dig them up because I've got a bad back. It needs sorting, and it needs. I've got spent mushroom compost at home to go on here, but I just need to do the weeding and get him up here to do the digging. He doesn't come up very often. This is going to be the dahlia bed. This is always the dahlia bed. My husband looks after this, sort of, but it's his dahlia bed. And sweet peas. The sweet peas are coming along at home. And then I've got a globe artichoke, which has been in for a long time. I like globe artichokes. My husband doesn't, but I still cook them anyway. I don't really care. And this is going to be, I'm in an R-in, but I think I'm going to grow Greek soup beans on this, mainly because they're in the ground. They don't start to ripen until much later in the year than runner beans. And I'm going to put, probably over here in this bed, I'm going to put a wigwam for my runner beans, because runner beans can be really prolific. And then my rhubarb's coming along. This is only its 2nd year. I have picked a little bit, and I will pick a little bit more, but generally I'm not picking much for of the rhubarb this year, because it is only its 2nd year. Now this is where, because I'm going to be putting a cover over this, and I'm going to put some sort of raised beds in here, I think. And this is where I'm going to be putting my peppers and aubergines and chilies in here. But I'm in no rush. I mean, the next few weeks will be fine. They won't be coming out until June anyway, because of the last frost date. So my plan for these, as I didn't mention with these 2 beds, is this one is going to be French beans, borlotti beans, and then the other bed over there is going to be tomatoes. So of course, like most of us, we're praying for a nice warm summer, like we had last year. Probably unlikely, to be honest. Spring certainly isn't showing any signs of being warm. I think it was warmer last year. Anyway, one of my jobs today is to turn the water on. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that there are no problems. It will be almost a first, I think, in all the 14 years I've been switching this water on. I think there's only been 1 year where I didn't have to get the plumber in to fix it. Anyway, so that's the allotment. We're going to finish up with a little tour of my greenhouse. This isn't going to take long. Let me turn you around. So in here, so I've got some rudbeckia. This is my hotbed, and at the moment the temperature is saying it's 25.8. So I've been keeping it warm at night because we've had some very cold nights, covering this lot with fleece on the nights when it's got down to near 0. At the back here I've got some basil and some parsley. I never have much success with basil. Generally I buy it from the supermarket and then just divide the plants. That works very well. I've got some fennel here that's ready to go in the ground, probably next week. I've got some Hurst green shaft peas that look like they may at long last be germinating. I'm very unhappy with these peas, with the seed company. I've written to the seed company and they've promised to send me another packet. I'm not going to bother sowing them though. I sowed 120 peas. No, I didn't. I sowed 240 peas and I got 30 plants. So you can understand why I was a bit hacked off. This is some more flowers. I'm not altogether sure what we've got here. Osteospermums and salpiglossis, whatever they are. Over here I've got celeriac, because I use my own seed compost. We'll get a lot of weed. I've got some autumn leeks there, Jolant, and behind some more spinach, Medania. That's doing fine. Up here I've got some Blauwschokker peas, which will be going out soon. These were given to me by a friend, who were given to her by another friend, and they were home saved seed, and 100% germination. You get so much better germination from home saved seed, you really do. Over the back here I've got two types of, I haven't got anywhere to put this, two types of beetroot. I've got Bolt Hardy on one side, and then I've got Boudoir or Boldor. They are the orange variety. There's some spring onions there. I've got some of my peppers in the greenhouse, only for during the day, so they're getting some sun. More onions. I've got some Medania spinach here. Sorry about the sun's in our eyes. These I've got to show you. This is lavender. So I pre-chitted those for about 6 weeks and then planted, then just shoved the thing out here until it germinated, and then I've pricked them out. So hopefully I'll get some lavender parts, and hopefully alleys are also doing really well. I've got some more flowers here that are germinating. They're chrysanthemums. And then over the back I've got the sprouts. I've got some chervil, which must be related to the celeriac family, because the celery family, because they certainly do look alike. Penstemons and some spare lettuces over there. Then I come down onto this level. These onions at the back here, they're to go in the ground for seed. That's a Sturon onion. These here are Sturon onions from my own saved seed. I'll be putting these out in the next couple of weeks. More peppers. And then these are my giant onions. I've been bringing these in and out of this greenhouse, what feels like for weeks. And I must admit, next 2 or 3 weeks, they're going to be going, not completely in their new home, but I've got to put up another grow tent in the garden for them to go in, because I need the space here. I've got some more peppers down here, and I've got some more peppers down here, all getting the sun. And then this onion here, this is a giant onion, and that has just been out in the greenhouse, well, like forever, really. Over here, I'm doing an experiment with carrots, where I've taken the bottoms out of the egg boxes, sowed 3 or 4 seeds in each, and then I will plant the whole egg box. And these ones down here were sown quite some time ago, and they're at the moment not showing any sign of germination. When did I sow them? Oh, that one hasn't got a date on it. One of them will have a date on. Oh, 17th of March I sowed those. So it's probably still a bit early for carrots. They are notoriously fickle. In here, this was some other experiment. This is a snail. I haven't got many that have come up, probably because I dislodged the seeds, but these are Burlicum carrots there, and I will plant those out once they're a bit bigger, but they're just too small at the moment. And those at the back are Black Agapanthus, and that plant in the corner there is a tarragon. I love tarragon. Right, I've got another. That was the in inverted commas big greenhouse. This is the little one, which is where I've got my first early potatoes. The Swift have come up, as have the Red Duke of York. The Premier, which was sown on the 15th, haven't come up, but I'm getting some bumps on the soil, so I'm thinking they'll be pushing through soon. Then I've got more flowers in here. I put these, and these are the peas that I sowed. That's all I got from them. More flowers, and these are my trailing sweet peas. The other sweet peas are hardening off outside at the moment. I do need to bring this shelf down because it's a bit high. So anyway, excuse me, that's what's going on at home in my greenhouses. I've got quite a bit of work to do to get the cold frames. I've got some more cold frames to put up, and so that I can start, even if these onions only go in there during the day, it's the tall tomato house that they'll eventually be planted in. We've got another cold snap around about the bank holiday, Easter time. So, but I'm hoping to actually get them out by the second week of April. And as you can see, it's still as windy as ever. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope to catch you another time. Bye for now. Bye.